Hello, this is Ingrid Auer. I'm from Austria, from Europe, and together with my dear friend Robin Alexis from California, I would like to talk about angels, about our experiences, because she and me, we work together with angels, we get information from angels, we are spiritual teachers, and we would like to share. So I have prepared some questions because I'm curious about what Robin is thinking. Um, Robin, in this time of the big change where we live, angels play a particularly important role. How would you describe them? Would you describe the angels or the role of the angels?
Well, the way that I've experienced angels is it's not something that I was taught. I would have, in hindsight, if I could have recreated my life story, I would have been taught about angels as a child and to accept them as real and to understand how they work. And I had been taught a little bit about angels when I was a little girl. I was brought up as a Christian in a very strict church. And they talked about Archangel Gabriel speaking with Mother Mary. But that was it. It was like the message was angels were only for Mother Mary. So I never thought about them for myself.
Mhm.
And then I actually want to jump to an experience I had probably 6 years ago. I'm not quite sure exactly when, but it's been since I've lived in Mount Shasta. And a woman, I was walking down the street of Mount Shasta, and this woman just handed me a flyer. And she said, "You have to come to this event." And I looked at the piece of paper, and it was for a Stargate event with Priggy Harris and Julianne Conrad. And my heart leapt. So I went to that event. And in the event, Pragit channeled Alcazar to me, telling me about a past life that I had as Sarah, the daughter of Jesus and Mary Magdalene. And I thought, well, maybe there's lots of Sarahs, I don't really know. But then I had this woman that was sitting right next to me, and she said, "You need to pick an essential oil." And I just reached my hand into the bag, and the oil I picked up was called Sarah. And so I went to Young Living Oils to see if I could find the oil Sarah, and I couldn't. And I was pretty distraught about it because I wanted to find out more about what did this actually mean to me. And to me, this was messages from angels. Well, then I ended up having someone who didn't know anything about that experience give me your spray, Sarah. And I felt, I feel like I could cry right now. I feel like you are an angel in my life. I mean, I wanted to meet you way before I found out that Lily Wong knew you and then introduced us. And so the pathway or an experience of angels and how they work through people and bring you to your own consciousness and your own evolution of your own consciousness, it's miraculous. And I don't have to know intellectually what anything is, but the fact that, I was thinking this morning, you know who Oprah Winfrey is? Okay, so many people would be in awe if Oprah Winfrey got in touch with them. But for me, you are my Oprah. I was like, whoa, I get to talk with her about angels. And so angels to me are experiential. They can come through the messaging of humans. And I also had an experience when I had a near-death experience when I was 3. I drowned. And what I remembered when I was 3 was Master Christ Jesus speaking with me. But then a couple weeks ago, I decided to have a hypnosis session to see was there something else in that experience. And when I did that, I found out that my great-grandmother, who at that time was still alive, had actually come to me during that experience. And she told me then that I had been her daughter in a past life and that I had died and now I was back. And the reason why I'm telling you that is because when I was 30, I had another near-death experience. And when I was on the other side, I had my little baby with me who had died, and my great-grandmother met me, and she took the baby. She said it was time for the baby to go, but I had to come back. And she explained to me why I was coming back, what I would be doing. And she explained to me why the baby spirit, it was time for the baby to go to the other side.
Mm-hmm.
And she told me that she had written a poem that was in the family Bible so that I would know that this really happened.
Mm-hmm.
And when I came back out of the NDE, I asked my family to look in the family Bible. Actually, I didn't even know there had been one. And she had written a poem. So it was a validation. And my point of explaining this is that I now know that my own great-grandmother has been an angel to me.
Mm-hmm.
And she's come in and out of my life, either in physical form or in spirit form, which I can see her really strong right now. But there's so much to angels. But that was the thread of when you asked me that question, how experiential angels are to me. It's not something I was taught. It's something that unfolded for me experientially. And then I get to be with you. It's just miraculous to me.
It's interesting to listen to your story. I think we have so different approaches to angels. When I was a little girl, I can remember I always talked with invisible friends. For me, they were visible, but my parents thought, oh, she has a lot of good fantasy. And when I was about 6 or 7, I had a cousin, and she went to school, and she said, oh, I'm now 6, I go to school. I am too old to believe in angels, and I also wanted to be a big one. And so for me, I think I lost the connection, the conscious connection to the angels, or maybe also to the ascended masters, when I started to go in school. And I grew up in a very Roman Catholic surrounding, so I was forced to go to church 2 or 3 or 4 times a week. So for me, when I was little, the angels were the only one in the church I loved to see, I loved to watch. I liked the flowers, the candles, the organ music, and the smell of the, I don't know how to say it, in the sage. No, it's not the sage.
Incense.
Yeah. But what the priest told, this was not really interesting for me. And when I got older, I lost this contact. And when I got into my, I say, midlife crisis, which I had already when I was 28, my life was upside down, and nobody could help me. And this was the time when a friend said to me, why don't you talk to the angels? I thought, oh, the angels, the kitschy, small, pink angels from our childhood. And she said, you can believe whatever you want, but talk to them, talk to them. And I really started to talk, and I could feel the presence, I could feel the help, I could feel the energy, the shifting of the energy. And after a few years, I realized that now they want something from me. And this was in 1998 when I got the message, it's your mission, it's your task to work together with us and to open up people's hearts for us angels. And the key are the angel symbols. So this was my approach to the angels. And since then, I have written a lot of books, and as you also, I do channelings and so on. But I think the angels are like, for me, they are like friends, and they are now here in this certain time of the big change, of the big process we are going through. They always have been there, but now the veil between the physical world and the spiritual world becomes thinner and thinner. So we have the chance to see them, to reconnect them more on the conscious way, not only on the spiritual way and unconscious level, but also on the conscious level. And I think this is the reason why so many people open up now for angels. Sometimes people say, oh, it's just modern to be open with angels, it's just a gag, or it's just a fashion. No, this is not. It is something deeper, it's something changing, it's a big change, a big process worldwide, and so many people are opening for the angels. So it's not only now because it's actual or modern or something like this, but we reconnect really in a very deep way or in a very deep sense. So Robin, how do you work, or what are you doing if you have a request to your angels, if you have an answer, a question, or if you want support? How do you work? How do you approach the angels?
Well, what I do is I don't, in the past, I might more now because of our conversations, but what I usually do is I just say a prayer, and I'm in a special room. Like right now I'm in my stone room in Mount Shasta. And so I'll go to a spot that's sacred to me, and I will say a prayer, and I will ask for assistance. And then whoever comes through is who comes through. And more, especially since I've lived in Mount Shasta, I'm realizing I've connected with more angels. I thought when I came here, I was going to connect with more star beings, you know, like extraterrestrials or whatever, the stellar family, cosmic family. But I'm realizing now that what I've connected with is the angelic realm. I've seen and felt literally like little white soft feathers and energy. It's like a caress. It's so gentle and soft. And I've been shocked by that, the comfort of them. And then I'll have certain names come in, or they'll talk to me about overlighting divas, or body elementals. And all of these things have been really, really new to me. But the expansiveness of the world of angels, it's limitless.
Yeah.
So, for example, in Archangel, he calls himself Babaziel, or I think I'm pronouncing that correctly. The spelling that I see in my mind is Babaziel. And I can feel him right now. And when he comes to me, he gives me permission to experience abundance, and not just spiritually or with my divinity, but as a human with all the resources I need to live well. And that's been a challenge for me, because I was taught in this lifetime and others that when you're in your spiritual divine essence, there's like probably lingering old vows of something, of poverty, or you have to give everything away. So there was a real lesson inside of me to go, wait, I can have both now. I don't have to be one or the other. I can experience the texture, richness, and everything. So that particular archangel is identified to me as the one who helps with that. And I have kind of cried out and mourned over that. I was a single mom, very poor single mom. Would get food for my kids in church basements. And I would offer sessions with people on a donation basis, because I didn't have any confidence in what I was doing. And yet, if I didn't do something, I wouldn't have money to feed my kids. So this has been a beautiful opportunity for me to know I'm worthy of an angel to answer my prayers and come to me and tell me why I'm experiencing this and how I can shapeshift it and create something different into the future for myself and my children, or for anyone who's listening who goes, wait, I can do this differently. I can pray and call in the angels and see who comes and helps me. What's it like for you?
I like that we have different approaches, how we work with them, because I'm a very grounded person, although I can reach up very high. I sometimes talk to my angel when I'm driving my car, or when I'm under the shower, or when I'm ironing. Yeah. So I have found out 3 different ways how to communicate with them. The one is to say, hello angels, I need your advice, please give me an impulse, or show me a certain book, or give me the answer through a person, through a film, through a video, through something else. Yeah, I talk to them like friends. This works very well when I am open, because if you close your chakras because you have stress, or you are sad, or you have pain, or something like this, maybe you don't hear the answer, and I don't hear them with my ears. I get the answer within me. Yeah.
Yeah.
One angel said to me, we are talking with you through your heart. And when I heard this for the very first time, I thought, what does he mean? But in the meantime, I know how it works, and I can have the difference, which is my ego, my own thoughts, and what is the answer from the angel. Because sometimes the answer is not always convenient. Yeah, because our ego wants to hear this and that, but the angel has nothing to do with our ego. He tells you blah 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 blah, and say, "Oh, I didn't want to hear this now, yeah, or I didn't want to get this impulse." And also, I'm have been a kinesiologist for a long time, and sometimes I work with the muscle test. I connect, and then I ask. Yeah, so this is also a kind how I get answers, and I get sometimes answers, very many different aspects of an answer. And another ways where I take my angel symbol cards, I show them into the camera. You see, this is Archangel Camuel, the angel of love and self-love, and yeah. Then I sit down to a table and said, angel, please come to me, sit around the table. I have a question. And then I ask the angels a question, and then I draw one of my angel cards. And then I read in my book about the symbol, because the symbols tells you also the story. And they are very honest, sometimes more honest than you want to know. And there, I also can, this is a kind of communication I have with the angels. And the third kind of communication is what also it's your communication. I get the messages directly, because if I channel angels for a group of people, then I bring down the energy and the words, and I speak them out, and then you have the information and their energy. But this I don't do for single persons and not for myself. This I only do for a group of people, for example, when I do meditations. So these are the three kinds of communication I do with the angel, from the driving the car to, yes, to channeling. And so what I wanted to say is that there are so different ways how to communicate with them, because people think, oh, I have to do this or this or this, and can I do anything wrong? You can't do anything wrong. Just open your heart, listen, feel, and be honest to yourself to receive the answer, because angels are not, how do you say, wish fulfilling machines. Yeah.
I really like that you said that. That is beautiful, and I'm very inspired by your cards. I'm tempted to ask you if you would like maybe pull a card for the highest and holiest reason of why you and I are engaged with this, and what can we, share with people. What'd you get there? Angel for divine wisdom. Oh, my heart. See, I can feel that. And when I see that symbol again, I just feel tears of joy and gratitude and home. And I realize so much in my life, in my human form, I haven't felt home. Mm-hmm. And so when I connect with this energy that you're bringing through yourself and all the energies, as you've been talking, I've actually been seeing clairvoyantly all these angels around you. Mm-hmm. And the comfort of that, feeling that, I'm feeling more of like that warm hug of their presence. And I think too, you talked about the ego. I think I was taught to have an ego that dismissed the very fact that they've always been there. Mm-hmm. And so by sharing this with you and seeing the symbols and seeing the card, it's just opening me up, and hopefully other people who are listening to this, to our family. We are family with the angels, and they're here. They can help us.
Yeah.
Is there anything we can do to help them? I mean, I heard you say that you've been called to do what you're doing, and you're doing it impeccably. How, like, for example, how can I know how the angels are calling me?
I would say you can feel you are drawn to something. And this doesn't come from yourself, it comes from somewhere. And it has a high vibration. It makes you happy. You can feel the energy, you can feel the love. So you know it comes from divine source. And the angels are the messenger of divine source. So you can say it comes from divine source, from God, from anywhere, yeah. But you will realize if you're drawn by something very, very strong, and it makes you feel like, I'm so happy to experience this. I'm so happy to do this. It's like a call. It's a call of your heart. Yeah, but it's more than the call of your heart. It's the call of an angel, and now I get goosebumps all over the body. So you can't. It's a call. Yeah, it's like a call, and it's like magnetic. You cannot. Of course, you can say no. I'm not interested, or I don't have the courage to do this or that. But if you feel drawn by your heart, it's the call of the angels, because of course they know your life mission. They know the plan. When we, or before we come into physical life, our soul makes a conference with the angels, with our guardian angels, with our higher self. We can imagine sitting around a table and discussing what we as soul want to learn here on planet Earth. Who will be our parents? Who will be our children? Who will be our mothers, our partners? Where will we live? The circumstances, everything. What karmic parts do we want to transform? What challenges will we have, and which blessings will we have? Yeah, all the chances, all the energy, all the old wisdom. Yeah, it's a talk with angels, and then we come into our physical life, and then we draw the wheel of forgetting. I don't know if it is the right word. And then we are blah, 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 blah. We forget who we are, yeah? And then we think, oh my God, these parents, these partner, these children, oh my gosh. And then if you see people, it was your choice. No, never, yeah? Mm-hmm. So, but if you can feel that you are drawn from something, yeah, this is the call of your angel. It's the call of your angels. It's the call of your higher self. And so you will feel this is a kind of communication. And so you don't have to know the name of the angels, because I always say, or the angels told me, our names are just vibration.
Ah.
So the words we use for them is a vibration brought into human words. But we couldn't talk this vibration, because with our physical mouth, with our physical body, it's only a word, yeah. And sometimes we think a little bit complicated, because we think like humans are thinking. You know, Brian, the big angel, yeah, says don't think like a human, which is not always easy, because of course we have forgotten who we really are, and we act like humans. But sometimes if we open up our mind or our intelligence, and open up for the angels, for the angelic wisdom, or for divine wisdom, you get the information with every cell of your body. With the DNA, everything is vibrating, boom, 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 and then you know something is going on. Maybe a new mission, maybe a new opportunity, maybe a new calibration, something like this. And so I think we live in a very interesting time. Of course, it's challenging, but we wanted to be there because we wanted to work with and for this great shift, and you as well as I. So this is no coincidence we came together, although there are thousands of miles between us and we have never met us in person, not in this lifetime.
It's so exciting to reconnect with you. And I'm feeling like I want to share that when my daughter died, she died 40 years ago. She lived 13 days, and she was a twin. I had actually 2 sets of twins and lost one from each set. But my daughter, Darcy, when she crossed over, she has come to me, and I can see her right now. It's a very similar pink, actually, to what you have behind you. I see her with these pink wings and just this beautiful pink dress, and she's so sweet and kind, and she'll come and visit sometimes, and she's doing that right now. And I think it's interesting that she, didn't choose to reincarnate, but rather she presents herself in this way to me. And she's also asking me to speak about what her soul mission was in those 13 days. She was born prematurely because I had twins that were born prematurely from a pretty violent situation. I went into labor, and she had come to me before I even conceived her. And she said, "You're going to have twins and one of us will die." And then the night I got pregnant, I had a dream, "You're now pregnant and one of us will die." So of course, through the whole pregnancy, I kept doing everything I could to prevent this dream from happening, because I was like, why am I hearing this? And then the night before she passed, I had another dream that she was going to die. So I called the hospital where they were in the intensive care unit, and I said, "I've had these dreams. I'm really worried about my daughters. Please, pay special attention to them." And the nursing staff said, "Oh, you're just a tired mom. They're doing really well. They'll be home soon. Just go get some sleep." And at that time in my life, I submitted to what other people said. So I went to bed and I did go to sleep. And then the phone rang. It was hours later. And they said that she had become critically ill. And if I could get to the hospital right away, maybe I would see her before she died. So at the time I was having physical problems. So I had to get someone to drive me to this special hospital. It was about an hour and a half away from my house. By the time I got there, she had died. And I never got to hold her because they said that all the other babies in the intensive care unit were really, really sick. So whatever got her, all the babies had, including her twin Dawn. And they said, if you will give us permission, we need to do an autopsy. We need to find out what took her life before all the other babies die. So there was like no time, even though I'd been processing for literally years that this was all going to happen. Here it was. And so I did say, do the autopsy. They found out what was wrong. It was an infection that had come from a woman who had forgotten to wash her hands when she went into the intensive care nursery, and she took blood from all the babies and got them all infected. But because, I see this is making me cry too, because Darcy did that, all the other babies got the medicine and no one else passed away. And she came to me then, and she's coming to me now to say that it wasn't only that she came to have her soul mission and soul purpose. It was that she wanted to have people understand that to combine this concept of alternative medicine and allopathic medicine for the well-being of all. And for example, I really wanted to hold the babies after they were born, and this was 1978. They wouldn't let me. and they separated the twins. And I was like, no, put them together. They wouldn't do that. But now, what do? The babies are held. The twins are kept together. So she came to open the doors for this. It kind of reminds me of what's going on in American politics. You know, a lot of people who, you know, open-hearted people might have wanted to have won in the election. They didn't win, but they opened the door.
Mm-hmm.
They opened the door for people to become heart-centered and listen to the angels and make our choices to that. Stop thinking in the human mind, problem solving, but open up and realize that there's so much here, and to just be open to the angels. And now she is one. So I'm really happy to speak for her as an angel. It's very exciting.
Thank you for sharing this experience with us. I wanted to ask you, what do you think why angels are not always allowed to help us if we ask them?
Well, I'm going to take the example of my dreams, my precognitive dreams, that I was going to have this experience with this soul coming through, that she was going to stay, do her thing, and leave and continue on. I prayed that she would be okay, that the babies would be okay. But the divine story that I had agreed to for all wasn't that she would live and I would get to be her mom. It was that I had the grace to bow to this child's the soul, having this soul purpose and soul mission. So what got to happen was the most benevolent, highest and holiest experience, not the one I wanted to have.
Yeah. This is very important. Sorry, you want to continue?
No, go ahead, please.
Because this is very important, because sometimes, as I mentioned before, people think that angels are something like fulfilling machines of our wishes. Yeah, we ask an angel, we lean back and wait that the angel fulfills our wish. This is a little bit, let me say, childish. Sorry about that. Because I see angels in a bigger content like you do. So an angel is allowed to help us, to support us, to guide us. And sometimes he is allowed to pick us from a very dangerous situation. But normally an angel, this is what I experience, has to respect our life plan and our karmic challenges, learning steps, something like this. Of course, sometimes, especially the angels of grace are allowed to help us to do short step or to shorten the way, to shorten the learning steps. But normally the angels have to respect our life plan, our decisions, and all the connections with other people. And therefore, angels are not always allowed to help us. This is maybe sometimes important for people who listen to us, because maybe they think angels always have to help. Of course they could if they wanted and if they would be allowed, but they have to respect our higher self. And if the higher self says, no, this person has to do her own learning steps and she's not allowed that you help her now in this moment, she has to go her own steps, or to go through a special experience. If the higher self says no, the angel have to respect this. And therefore we should always appreciate what angels do, if they help us or not, because it has a deeper meaning, it has a higher sense. And this is, I think, our approach, also your approach, that angels are much more than only funny things with wings and we say, hello, hello, angel, help me, blah, blah, blah. They are like our souls on a very high level. They can get up into very high levels. and they're working together with our higher self, with our soul. They're working with the divine source. They're working together with, of course, Mary Magdalene and her companions. They're working together with the ascended masters. They are not limited, yeah, but we have to leave our belief system maybe we grew up with the little nice angels. They are much, much more. So do you have any last conclusion, sentence, message you would like to share?
Well, what I've gotten from speaking with you is that you can be anywhere you are and just be mindful and become present and ask for the angels to come to be with you. And whether, no matter what you're doing, be mindful of it. Even if you're not in that moment calling in an angel, be an angel who knows that if you're going to go take blood from babies, that you wash your hands first. Be mindful. Yeah. And let that energy come through. And so your practicality of speaking about it, like whether you're ironing or driving your car, just be mindful that the angels can come through you. You can be a messenger of the angels, and that what will come through is the highest and holiest.
Absolutely. And you say be mindful, and I would say also be thankful. So we also have to appreciate the presence of the angels, the help of the angels. We should sometimes take a few seconds, be aware or being aware of them and say, thank you for your presence. Thank you for your help. Sometimes I take a bunch of flowers and put them on the table and I say, these flowers are not for me. These are for you. I really appreciate your presence, your help, your love, everything. So be mindful and be thankful. Thank you, dear Robin, for sharing with me.
I love you so much.
I love you too. Thank you.
Will you put that card up one more time so I can just see the beautiful card and words and symbol? Oh, thank you so much. Thank you, thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. And we say now hello to the listeners, and we will continue. I will continue this series on behalf of the angels. Thank you for listening, and I'm sure you can take the one or the other advice or energy into your life. Have a wonderful time. Thank you.